Hi, Steve Sleeper here. On today's episode, it's a presentation I did for an attorney association. If you want to watch the video stream with the PowerPoint deck, then the link is in the show notes.
On today's episode of Video Marketing Madness, we're going to talk about Steve Sleeper's YouTube marketing for attorneys. And today's episode is made possible by our good friends over at Movo, where you can get all sorts of really good stuff for your videos. If you need a microphone, if you need lights, if you need stands, they've got it all so that you can turn even your smartphone into a full shooting rig. So get your stuff right now by heading on over to raiselinks.com/Movo and get your content creation, microphones, stands, lights, and other goodies right now. And speaking of goodies, let's hit that music.
He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.
And it's the radio show about video marketing madness with Ray the video guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper. You know, one thing we hadn't talked about in a while is trains, our trains, I guess it's plural.
That is true. We have not talked about trains in a while.
Our vacation, I know. Ray's like, wake me up when you're done. So my wife and I take these short vacations, three-day weekends, and we go to these small towns and I railfan, and she brings her knitting, and then we always find an antique store there in town, and we go out to dinner and stuff, and, we're old people. We like that stuff. So what I did this time was actually take a 4-day weekend and went to Galesburg, Illinois.
Ooh.
Galesburg is one of the, if not the first rail yard for what was then the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy in like 1850 something or other. And it's not as big a yard as it used to be, but it's still pretty good size. And there is a virtual railfan camera there in Galesburg. And then there's this place called Peak Park. I think it's Peak Park, where the old Santa Fe take two. The old Burlington flies over the old Santa Fe. And you right there at the parks, and of course now it's BNSF. It's just two different divisions, and you can rail fan from there. There's a little gazebo with picnic tables and stuff. So Saturday when we were there was a beautiful day, highs in the 60s and sunny. The next day it rained, but we still had a great time, just a wonderful time. So
nice.
So,
you know what?
Trains.
This morning when I left the house at 6:30 this morning, it was 38 degrees.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. No, I think we were like 10 degrees cooler. I don't know if we got a freeze last night, but it was pretty close. So
I bet we didn't. It was probably pretty close here too.
Yeah, we didn't get a freeze because we got this mulberry tree in the backyard. It is non-fruit producing, but it will keep its leaves until there's a freeze, and then they all fall off at one time. How exciting is that? Woo.
I mean, rocking around the mulberry tree, I'll tell you.
That's right. So, okay, so here's the deal. I thought this would be kind of fun to do. Maybe a month ago, I did a presentation for our friends at the American Association of Premier DUI Attorneys, and it was entitled How to Get More Clients Using YouTube. And Ray, back in June, did a presentation on how to use the new Performance Max Google Ads.
Yep.
And of course, once you get done with that, the phone doesn't ring off the hook, but you'd be surprised every now and all of a sudden you just get a phone call a few months later and somebody wants to do something. And it's a great way for me to get my name out there. And slowly but surely, my attorneys are, and don't call me Shirley. My attorneys are saying, "Can I've been reading about this Performance Max, or I'm getting tired of doing Google Ads myself, or I'm not doing Google Ads. Can you help me out?" So, we've gotten a couple of new attorneys on the Google Ads. But what I'm here today to talk about is the presentation I did for the what was it, AAPDA, I think is what it's called. I may have missed an A. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show it to you. The reason I'm doing this is for our audience. It may give them some ideas on how to make a living with YouTube. Because right now, basically, I'm making a pretty decent living with YouTube and Google Business Profiles. I'll do websites if I have to. Just as soon not. But if somebody wants me to do it, don't get me wrong, I'm more than happy to do it. But primarily what my business is YouTube and Google Business Profiles. And a lot of this is stuff I learned from Ray, if not all of it. So anyhow.
If only I could make a decent living doing the things that I talk about.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those deals. I mean, I do real basic stuff. If I can't do it, I'm bringing you in. You know that. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Can you see my screen?
I can. Yes.
Okay. I've got to move our pictures out of the way there. Okay. So, keeping in mind, this was a presentation for an organization, and I'm going to describe it. Maybe if you want to see the deck itself, just head on over to our YouTube channel. If you're listening to the audio podcast, just Google Video Marketing Madness on YouTube, or just go to YouTube and Google Video Marketing Madness, and we'll be there. And it'll be under the live tab, and it'll also be on the homepage because it's a playlist. But anyhow, so this is the presentation I did. What we're looking at right now is just an introduction slide with my credentials. So, and speaking of credentials, and I'm going to describe the slide right now for those listening to the audio podcast. My first client was Joey Franks at the Franks Law Firm in Jackson, Mississippi. And a few years into his practice, he decided that he was going to start calling himself the big man at Big Man Law. And that has worked swimmingly for him because it differentiates himself from everybody else. He's a big dude. But Ray does quite a bit of Google Ads placement for him. And he does pretty well with that. And my theory is people see Big Man Law, and that's what they're going to click on first because it's just.
And I see his videos; they pop up on my stuff all the time.
Do they? Okay. Well,
out here.
And what this slide is showing is that total lifetime, and I've been at it with him since 2018, but it's only been in the last year that I've really made a jump. But he's got a million views on 317 videos, and this slide says last 30 days. It's probably from a month ago, but he had 142,000 views on 20 videos. So he's doing something a little bit unusual, but it's drawing attention and an audience to his channel that's garnering him views for his FAQ stuff. We do a lot of FAQ videos, and then we turn those into Google Business Profile posts, and I'll show that in just a little bit. So here are the applications that have worked for me, and that's the current slide on the YouTube channel, but I'll describe it in depth. What I do with each of my attorneys, and I have about 12 attorneys right now, is I do weekly FAQ videos. For most of them, I'm recording them on Zoom, And what I've found with Zoom is if there's a light source, if there's light streaming in from a window, and they are facing that window, or it's situated such that it lights up their face, they can use their tablet and it looks pretty good. It's just you kind of have to play with that little bit. But we do these weekly FAQ videos and edit them. We'll have about a half hour of video and we'll pull out 2-minute segments, edit them real tightly, put in some B-roll footage, and then I get them transcribed for the Google Business Profile copy. We now the videos are going to have all the backlinks we need, like driving directions and stuff that Ray's trained me on, like deep dives into the Google Business Profile, like the link, and also a review, a 5-star review, and copy and everything else. And I'll show the metadata for that in a little bit and then describe it. Once I have those FAQ videos up and I've got the associated copy, then what I'm going to do is buy views, YouTube advertising in their marketplace. So in the case of Joey Franks, I am buying YouTube views in the northern suburbs in Madison and Ridgeland, because that's kind of where all the people are. In Overland Park for Stolte Law, I'm just buying them in Overland Park. So you do have to ascertain where the market is. And stop me anytime, Ray, if I'm not making.
No, I'm listening because this is good stuff. How much are you spending on those ads?
$20. Thanks for asking that. I appreciate it. $20, and that gets anywhere from 500 to 1,500 views. And they're good quality views in the marketplace, and I'm amazed, but people seem to watch the entire video. The videos are short; they're no longer than 2 minutes. But I'm just kind of blown away by that stat. So that's good, and almost all the views are going to come from YouTube advertising, except for Joey, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So then, at some point, when I have in the case of Joey, I had 20 videos, and I had one of his pages called "Arrested for a DUI" was on the second page of. And I find myself, I'm closing my eyes. Ray always gives me a hard time about that. I close my eyes when I'm thinking. But I had a page of his on the second page of Google. It was in the second position for DUI defense lawyers, Jackson, Mississippi. And I'd work on it, and I'd move it up a spot, and then it'd drop again. And I no matter what I did, I could not get that on page one. So I had 20 FAQ videos on DUI defense. So I embedded them on that page. The titles of the video I turned into an H2 headline, and then I included the copy from the description or the copy from the Google Business Profile, which was a good solid paragraph. So what he ended up with is 20 videos, 20 H2 headlines, and a good paragraph, 20 different paragraphs. It's at the top of page one the last time I checked. Just doing that made a big difference. And it seems that the new helpful content algorithm really loved me doing that. Now, the other thing that Joey does is weekly commentary videos on court cases, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Another client of mine in Olathe, Kansas, did a commentary video on. It was a guy got arrested for having a submachine gun, and a federal judge ruled that was unconstitutional. And so it's going to work its way up to the Supreme Court. So he talked about that. He got 45,000 views.
No, wait, when you say unconstitutional, the arrest for having it was unconstitutional, or having that particular gun was unconstitutional?
No, the arrest for having it was
Okay,
unconstitutional. I
that's
think
what
I'm
I just wanted to
remembering
clarify.
this correctly. I may have it a little off, but this was in Kansas, and yeah, he got 45,000 views on that. So these weekly commentary videos can get some views. The court cases, I don't know, for some reasons, attorneys are a little skittish about it. So then what I do is recommend, commenting on different stories in the news. Um, and I'll get into a little more detail on all these in just a little bit. Some of it I've already gotten into the details. Now, a few other things that I do for Stolte Law is I do these geo videos for all the towns that he serves. So if you look in the metadata or the description, you're going to have 10 different driving directions, maybe 15. So,
Right.
and I kind of changed that. What I've noticed with the helpful content algorithm is I cannot have all 15 in there. I got to do a different one each week. So, and this would be in the FAQ videos. So what I also do then for him is a geo video for the town that I featured in the FAQ video. Hopefully I'm making sense, and I'll have some pictures in a little bit. So let's say that the FAQ video says Stolte Law serves Olathe, Kansas, directions from Olathe, Kansas. Well, then I'll do a separate video on Olathe, Kansas. It's kind of a Chamber of Commerce video, and with the driving directions from Olathe to Overland Park. And then it just kind of ends by saying, if you got a DUI near Olathe, call Stolte Law. And so and those are fairly easy to do. And then for him also, and this is something that you thought of, was once a month I do a 5-star review video, and the geo videos and the 5-star review videos, those are the ones that will get 1,500 views as opposed to maybe 750 for the FAQs. So that's kind of neat. Now, the bottom line is that he was not on page one for DUI defense lawyers in the Google business profile before I started working for him in Overland Park, Kansas. He is now, and many of the surrounding communities as well. Make sense? Okay.
That makes sense. It's good stuff.
So what I'm showing on this slide, for those of you listening to the audio podcast, and I would suggest it heading over to YouTube, but and what I'm showing as my example is Joey Franks. Every few months, I'll do a 30-minute FAQ interview with him. And in Joey's case, we stream it live. I think he's the only one we stream live. I think the rest of the attorneys are like, I want to be able to correct something if I need to. Joey's such a character. I mean, he could be a stand-up comedian or an actor or something like that he doesn't mind doing the live FAQ. So it's 30 minutes. I ask, I don't know, 15 questions. And then I take those and split them up into 2-minute weekly segments. And we just talked about that a little bit. What's entailed with those FAQ videos, the 2-minute weekly segments. Now, what the screen is showing is how many views that he's getting. So 949 and 2 comments. 953 and 2 comments, 648 and 1 comment, and then his commentary videos, the court commentary videos, started kicking in, and we can see that the last example that I'm showing, 1,716 comments and views and 26 comments. So it does create a lot of interest in his FAQ videos. The YouTube advertising is going to be views within his marketplace. The extra views from the court vids may not be. Okay, they may be from outside the market. But what's happening is he's developing a lot of word of mouth for Big Man Law. He's a real character, as you know. So
Yep.
I just stood up a court video for him this week. It's got 35,000 views. And, people are like, hey, I just found you, man. I love your commentary and stuff like that. So it's hard to qualify how many of those will turn into new clients, but the better known you are, the more business you're going to get. And then now what I'm showing is the description and the Google business profile post. So in the case of the description, I'm doing what Ray coaches you to do. How to beat a Mississippi marijuana DUI, Big Man Law. So you got the keywords and the branding. I repeat that in the description with a call to action to phone number and website. And then I have a citation. And then if you got a DUI near Florence, call the Big Man. Directions from Florence to the Big Man's office downtown Jackson, a recent 5-star review, and then a link to the Google business profile. What I'm not showing in the description is the copy's also there, but I just couldn't fit all that in. But you are seeing the copy in as a post update to the Google business profile. So the copy will be there with a link to the YouTube video. He is for DUI defense lawyer, Jackson, Mississippi. He is on page 1 in the Google business profile for both the Franks Law Firm and for Big Man Law. The Franks Law Firm has been on page 1 for 6 years, 7 years, and Big Man Law just broke in. But then he's also on page 1 with his website as well. So that's pretty impressive. Now, again, it is a medium-sized market. It's not Chicago or anything like that, but that's still pretty good. It's a good-sized market. Any questions, Ray? Makes sense?
No, it makes sense to me so far. I
Okay.
like it. This is the type of stuff that I think is very effective, and most people have no idea that this can really help them. So
Yeah, this really works, and it's a little hard getting attorneys to understand this, but I'm pretty busy, so that's good. Took me a while. Oh, so if you're watching the video, what you'll see is that I focused on directions for one market, but this next slide I'm going to show directions from Brandon, Bryan, Canton, Clinton. What is there, about maybe 10, 15 there, driving directions from all the suburbs that ring Jackson to Joey Frank's office in downtown Jackson. And I showed that to the attorneys because sometimes it doesn't make sense to them unless I do that. But you can see that there's a whole lot of different driving directions, and I alternate them weekly. That gives geographic authority, by the way, and helps you to rank in as many areas as you can.
Yep. And the the real cool side effect of that is when you put the links to the driving directions, the links to the reviews, things like that, Google and the maps,
Yeah,
that benefits you on the maps itself.
very much a deep dive. Yeah, it's a double or triple benefit in that you've got a real good deep dive into the maps.
Yeah, and no, nobody really knows what Google is doing.
Yeah,
Despite when they say, "Oh, we can guarantee this, and we know what they did. This is how they did that." We can only kind of guess, and those guesses tend to change after a while. But we've seen where we've had businesses where we were not doing their Google business profiles at all. It was not what we would do. We were just doing videos. And by doing this stuff here, I watched their Google business profile just keep going up and 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 up.
Right. And they allow this in the videos, and they don't de-index the videos for doing this.
No,
Now,
no, never. I've never had an issue with that. I don't think I mean, it's you're just helping people out. I don't know if the helpful algorithm thing deals with YouTube much at all, but I mean that's helpful.
well, and that's why I only do one different driving direction for each video, and I do a weekly video because I don't know if helpful content applies to YouTube or not either. Maybe I'm okay with all 15, but I'm just going to assume that helpful content applies to everything, and I act
Yeah.
accordingly.
I mean, if it can see it, then it probably does.
Yeah.
So now I'll be honest with you, I don't do that many of them, but mostly just because I'm lazy.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of a pain on the
So I
setup.
do. I try to do like eight, just the 8 point, whatever is north, south, east, west, northwest, south, that kind of thing, and 8 points of the compass, whatever's around the 8 points, and then just
Yeah, yeah, that's probably as good
the more the
as
merrier,
anything.
though.
Well, and sometimes what I do is to get those towns, I'll use 5minute.com. I think it's what it's called. And you can enter in the information and it'll spit it back to you. So, and sometimes a good tool to use. Sometimes it's just readily apparent. Sometimes it's not. You need some help. Uh, what I'm showing here on this page is something I pretty much already explained, and that is embedding the videos on the website. If you're looking at the video, the page is on the left side, and then the videos are on the right, but the videos would be basically at the end of the page after all the copy. And this made a big difference. It got them on page one. So that's a good case study.
And he's on page one everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And a lot of it has to do with the videos. I manage his website for him, and it turns out that it's easy to read, and Google seems to like it because it doesn't have way too much copy or anything like that that people aren't going to read. And we have one guy that screwed up his website. He's got like 200 pages, 20 show in the navigation bar, and I've described it to Ray as 20 mobile homes have crashed into, or excuse me, 200 mobile homes have crashed into each other on the interstate, and they're all a total loss. So many people overdid things with their website that got them ranked. Well, Google hates that, because now they hate that because it's just overkill. It's way more than anybody's going to read, and they're not going to reward you for doing stuff like that, for doing the overkill. Hopefully, it made sense what I just said. Whereas Joey's got a simple site, good copy, and we just added all the kinds of stuff that turns out Google wanted us to add. So that's kind of nice. Oh, and then here's where I talk about results, where I show results. Actually, I've already talked about them, but on this slide, what you can see is that in the 3-pack, you'll see the Franks Law Firm and Big Man Law. They're both there. And then if you scroll down underneath that, it's like the third listing, the third website in all the listings of websites on the first page of Google. Last time I looked, it had moved up to the top position with websites underneath the 3-pack, and then the knowledge panel and questions and stuff like that. And again, Ray, if something's not making sense, you got a question.
Oh, it makes perfect sense to me.
Now, the thing that we do with Joey, and I've moved on to the next slide and I'll describe what's there, is weekly court proceedings commentary.
And I recognize that lovely judge that's in the picture there too, by the way.
Judge Simpson in Ann Arbor.
Is that where he is? I didn't know where I see his stuff all the time. I didn't know where he was actually.
Yeah, he's a piece of work. and nicest man in the world, but man, he does not put up with any crap. But he's very empathetic. I've seen that too. If
Yeah, he can.
if somebody's got problems and they're working hard to resolve those problems, man, he'll work with you. But if you're not helping yourself, he's pretty brutal. But we can see there's four videos there, and you can see the associated thumbnails with them. And I kind of played around a lot with the thumbnails to figure out what Google likes. And if you look at them, they're pretty sensationalized, the thumbnails. But the first, let's just describe the first video. The thumbnail says, "I was dumped on the side of the road." And it's Judge Simpson on the left looking aghast, and then it was the defendant on the right with his attorney. And the name of the video is "Bullied by Cops for Being Black, two exclamation marks. What will Judge Simpson do?" As of about a month ago, and I haven't checked it lately, but it had 513,000 views, 2,700 comments, and
Nice.
15,000 likes.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that is pretty darn, and it's still getting a lot of views. There's another one called Judge Simpson Exposes Lawyers Bullying. You won't believe what happened. That's got 104,000 views. And then I've got one with 46,000 views, one with 25,000 views. Now, for a long time, I was probably averaging, all of a sudden, I was just averaging 2,500 views. And I think what was happening was I wasn't differentiating the FAQ videos, the local marketing videos. And so what I did was I quit monetizing those FAQ videos,
Yeah.
because it's YouTube advertising anyhow. And then all of a sudden I started getting a lot more views. I started getting 10,000 views, and then the latest one's got 35,000 views. So if you're kind of mixing content, local marketing with national type stuff that gets a lot of views from everybody else, your local marketing, don't monetize it, because that's how you differentiate it. At first, I thought it might be playlists that would differentiate them. I'm sure that did to a certain point. I'm sure that didn't hurt, but the monetization is what made the difference. Yeah, kind of cool. Wish I could get more attorneys to do this, but they're
we've tried. Steve and I have tried this. We've tried to get some of these other attorneys to do it. We had some that were like, "Yeah, I want to do it," and then they never do.
They never do. Well, and I wish every client was like Joey, because I don't have to chase him much for anything. Where
No, he's very, very good.
as some of my attorneys, it's just like pulling teeth to get them to do stuff. But they do it. I mean, they do it. It's a heck of a bird dog job, to get them to do it. And in some cases, if they're close enough, like Kansas City, I'll just drive there. I'll set up a time and drive there just to get it done. And one attorney, he is such that he really appreciates me being there. The other attorney
Hates your guts.
yeah, he can't do a video unless I'm there with him. He just can't talk.
I mean,
through a video,
I kind of get it.
Yeah,
because
I do too.
It's not easy.
I'm not making fun of him, and it's kind of funny to me because this guy is an outstanding litigator. He can get in front of a judge and a jury and everything else, and he's fine.
When an electrician has that issue, you get it. But like a real estate agent or an attorney, you're like, come on, you got to do this all the time for people.
Right, right, exactly. So, but empathy. I mean, that was the first thing I learned in sales training. Be empathetic. Nobody's an idiot unless they're really an idiot, unless they're really stupid. I mean, so just work with them and And if you relieve their stress, you'll get all their business. So,
Yep. That's it. No, that's exactly it. You gotta, provide some sort of value. And if it's relieving stress, that's one of the values. If it's, getting one of the things that we always talked about was getting their time back for them. And that's, a big thing for a lot of these attorneys because they spend so much time trying to do all this stuff. And it's like, oh, it's just killing them. And we can get their time back for them, so they like that. That's one thing that they definitely like.
Now, the other one is, and attorneys are a little more open to this weekly commentary on applicable stories, news stories with B-roll TV coverage footage. So here's one that Vinny Rivera did. Kansas federal judge overturns machine gun conviction, ! What happened? And he talks about that. The whole video is him talking about that with B-roll footage from the TV stations. And I credit the TV station prominently in the video. I mean, I call it Chiron. You can tell how old but I Chiron type over it that says from, WABC, Kansas City.
I used to be
whatever.
a Chiron operator. So
Were you really? Yeah.
was.
So this one, I think, is at 50,000 views now and like 600 comments, and he's got a couple thousand likes on it. So, it can happen. It can happen. Now, on the commentary vids, not all of them are like this. On the court vids that Joey does, there's an audience there already, and if you can tap into it, it's a finite audience, but it's a couple 100,000 people at least, if not more. And if you can tap into that, you can get some views on your videos that will attract attention to the channel. The other thing that I have suggested to attorneys, and I can help them with it, but contact the news directors at the area TV and radio stations, share the videos, let them know you're available for commentary on their news stories. And Adam Stolte does that. He's made friends with a guy that always calls him when there's a criminal defense case. So
help a lawyer out.
Help a lawyer.
Or sorry, not help a lawyer out. What was that website? Help a journalist out. Help a reporter out. Help a reporter out. And there was a website for that, and that's exactly what it was. Is you could.
Is it still there?
I'm assuming it is. I haven't used it in a long time, but we used to mess with that a little bit to try and get our people on as experts on TV and stuff.
Okay, I'm writing that down.
Help a reporter out, hero.
Writing it down as we speak. Okay, cool.
I got to look into that too. I haven't looked at that in a while. That could be.
Yeah, I didn't know there was such a thing. Cool.
Yep. There sure is.
And then I'm showing a representation, graphics of the weekly geo videos on the town you serve, towns on a town you serve. I guess a little kind of a typo there. And then the copy is posted on the Google business profile with the YouTube link. And then the monthly Google 5-star review videos, and there's a screen that shows it. I mean, pretty simple stuff, or screenshot. And then what I'm showing is the quantities of views that they get. Now, this is YouTube advertising, but with the FAQs, the views probably average around 750,000 with the FAQ videos. With the geo and review videos, it's close to twice that amount. So these generate word of mouth for the attorneys.
Yeah. Well, and I've always liked that stuff because it's easy to create and it can be helpful. So
it's real easy to create. It's just an absolute piece of cake to create. So I did notice though that Dave's thing. What's the name of that?
rep videos.
Yeah, they're getting hit with copyrights real hard now.
What? I use
Yeah.
them all the time. I've never had an issue.
Oh boy, it was all over Stolte's. I had to delete them.
Really?
YouTube did not like them at all.
Must be the music that's in them or something.
I don't know. I don't know. They were saying it was copyright because, and I just guessed it's because they saw somebody else using it. And
No, if it's copyright, what it is, it's not that because it's a unique video. It's going to be the music. Guaranteed, it's flagging the music,
is it okay?
and you probably have to upload the thing.
I had one of those someplace, and I forget where it was. You must have done it. And they said, "Hey, somebody stole your stuff." That was basically YouTube. I'm not describing it correctly. You want to see it? You want to complain about it? And I look at it, and it was another one of those template type review videos. So uh, they're not liking them for some reason, and you would know
Yeah,
that.
I've never had an issue.
Really.
Crazy. And I've got ridiculous amounts of them out there too. So.
Oh, I know you do. Um, and then just a couple a little bit of advice I gave them. Um, if I can make a short out of something that is worth a short, and I know shorts have changed; they're now up to 3 minutes and everything. But I keep these under a minute, and I keep them vertical. By the way, I've had horizontal videos that are under 3 minutes, and I was watching them, and Google stamped them as shorts on the video itself. It said YouTube Shorts when I was watching the video, in the
Really?
video itself. Yeah, I call it Chiron, but it was Chiron over the video. So, but the thing with the shorts, and we've talked about this, is the you can link the full length video to it. So
Yep.
on this one, I've gone into Canva. I've uploaded the 60 seconds out of the full length video to Canva, and then it says click on and I've got a representation of the arrow that YouTube uses and then it says for the rest of it. And if you're looking at the YouTube video, you can see a little arrow down below, and that's a link to the full length video, and that will get you extra views. And hopefully, I talk about the post too, because you can post the video to the community page, and that's going to help you
Yeah,
with
and
subscribers.
I don't know if we do an episode on that. I know I did some
Yeah, you did. You
did
had
something on it.
you did a maybe
I think it's our Thursday training thing that we
a
do.
Thursday training. I think you did a Monday morning thing on it too.
Oh, it might have been there, but yeah, we've had some pretty good luck with that. Just revitalizing ones that either are a little older and getting them back out there in front of people, or ones that didn't perform very well and getting them to
Right,
perform better.
right.
It's a short term thing. You're going to get, if a video's been out for a while and it's not getting a ton of views and you put it out there, all of a sudden you're going to see a spike for about a day to 3 days, and then it's going to go back down and everything. But if you think about that, if you get an extra couple thousand views, what's wrong with that? If
When
you
I
monetize
do,
a few pennies, why not?
when I do it, I'm not as good at cranking out the shorts as I am the posts on the community page, because sometimes I just don't have time to do the shorts. You always got
Well, Stephen, I need to show you
it's
our
like
good
Jello.
friends.
You're never too full for Jello. You've always got time to do a community post.
Yeah, but I gotta show you how to use Opus Clip,
Oh, okay, okay.
because what that does is it
Oh,
uses AI.
no, you have shown me how to use it. It will pull it out there for you. Maybe I need to get that.
It's not, and don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes they're not the greatest videos in the world because they're not made like, it's not like you made a short video. It's taking a long video and cramming it into a short video. So you got to deal with that. So it's, if you took the time and brought it into an editor and made your own short videos purposely, they may look a little better. But It does a great job for the most part, and it'll automatically post. So you just put it in there. It's going to make boom, 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 a bunch of them.
Yeah.
You can say, this one's trash. Get rid of this. These are good. And it'll schedule them all out for you and everything right from there. So.
Yeah, I need to look at that. I kind of, honestly, no offense, I kind of dismissed it out of hand. Why I did that, I don't know. Maybe I was being an idiot. It happens with me a lot.
It costs me money.
But I think from a time standpoint, I'm going to need something like that. I'm going to pick up a few more pieces of business. I just added a couple clients, but I'm just about as busy as I want to be, maybe a little more than I want to be, but it keeps me going, The other thing I also talk about is do a channel trailer on the, I was just telling you, I mean, this is something you've, on how to optimize your YouTube channel.
Let's be 100% honest about YouTube channels. Some people go to them. A lot of people don't. A lot of people see videos, just one-off videos,
the homepage. Yeah.
But if you're going to have the channel there, you might as well put it to its best use. Because I go to channels for stuff. I'm watching tech.
Oh, I do too.
I'll hit that channel button. So, but looking at numbers, it's not a large number. If you're getting 1 million views, on videos and things, let's say you're getting 1 million views a month on your content and everything. If you look and start looking at the data, probably not a ton of them are going to your channel, but some are. So you never know.
Well, and I recommended this to what I did is I taught attorneys how to do it themselves. They're not going to do it themselves, but it keeps it from being a sales pitch that turns them off. So, I did say, look, do a channel trailer, and I show a screenshot from a channel trailer here.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Here's where I'm showing the community page post. So it's just as simple as clicking on that little camera with the plus on it where you upload a video, and you just go to create post, and
very, very simple.
It's so easy to do that you can't believe it. And when I do it, is when the video is kind of starting to run its course. It's going to get as many views as I think it's going to get. Then I'll go ahead and put it here. And what's it called again now? Omni what?
Opus Clip.
Opus Clip. What did I get? Omni. Opus Clip. I should probably look at that because I can just run it through it and do it and save me time. Big time saver. I'm all about saving time. Time is money.
Aren't we all?
Time has come today.
If I could save time in a bottle.
Time in a bottle.
First thing I'd like to do is get a new client onto YouTube. And I can't figure out the rest of the song. Oh, well. It was a try.
The other thing
half the audience is like, what the heck is that?
Yeah, I know. Jim Croce. Yeah, I'm laughing for no reason. Let me tell you why I'm laughing. Freshman year in college was when Jim Croce was in that plane crash and died. My first semester of my freshman year.
Yeah, that's totally funny.
Yeah, totally funny. There was a public service announcement on one of the local radio stations where Jim Croce's talking about airplane safety.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, and for some reason, they forgot to take it out of the rotation after he was killed for like 2 months. And us being college students and having black senses of humor thought that was hilarious. I still remember that.
It is. It's terrible and funny at the same time.
Yeah, terrible and funny at the same time. And here I am, here's something funny. Jim Croce was killed in a plane crash. And Grace like, yeah, that's great. Thanks, Steve. And then on this slide, what I'm doing is talking about playlists and podcasts. So I have a playlist for every single video I do. And I optimize that playlist with description and backlinks and citation and all that kind of stuff.
Playlists are great. Love the playlists because it just gives you more opportunity to be found, more opportunity to put in content and information. And yeah, gotta love it.
And
I love
then
it.
the other thing is you can take a playlist and basically you just click on the playlist and the three dots on the playlist. In fact, I'll show it. The last playlist here is reviews, and I haven't done review videos for them in a million years. But you click on those three dots, and it's going to give you the option to make it a podcast. Uh, and it's a video, and then the only thing you got to have is well, they used to call them badges, but it was called an iTunes badge back when a million years ago. But you got to have that square badge, and I just create them in Canva, and then I've got a podcast. So where does that podcast go? Well, it goes to YouTube Music, but they also give you an RSS feed. You can put it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and wherever you want. So I have taken those and fed them out to the different podcast channels. Takes 2 seconds. Does it get a lot of extra views? I don't know, but it's again, it's a signal. So why not do it? It's a signal and
That
it's
is,
free. What's that?
so that it is.
And it's got to make sense. So I do that with the FAQ videos. They're 2 minutes long, and it's like a podcast. Really, it is a podcast. Sections. Oh, okay. And then the other thing I trained him about is, and now we're starting to get in some miscellaneous stuff that you've been training everybody on how to do, but it's putting your playlists on the homepage using the sections. You can put
Yep.
anything on there you want, and I've got a link to that, but I'm not going to show it here because our listeners and viewers should know that you've been preaching that ad nauseum.
You better know it.
You better know it. I tell them to make sure the phone verify their YouTube account and show them how to do that. Again, our audience, I'm sure, knows how to do that, but I taught them to do that too. Talked
Nice.
about TubeBuddy. Man, I can't tell you how much TubeBuddy helps me. The two things that I use it for are the title. After you upload it, then you can click on alternative titles, and it's going to give you 5 alternative titles. That helps a lot. And then the tags. It gives me all the tags I need to put in there. And I still think tags make a difference. Everybody uses them.
I mean, I do. I have no idea. Some say it doesn't do anything anymore, but you know what? Even if it doesn't, that doesn't mean that tomorrow it's not going to.
Well,
So
everybody uses them. I had a situation. Oh, and this is going to be very
even
bad.
even YouTube hides them now, though. That's the funny thing that I
Well,
would
yeah,
get out of it.
but
Even they hide.
I had a situation where I wasn't using tags, and these are on some simple videos just built for the backlinks, and I was getting 10 views, and I started using tags, and it doubled the views, 20, you know. And now that channel's probably, I'm not buying any ads or anything for it. It's just for the backlinks, although it's, fairly well written, fairly well produced videos. But I'm up to 50 views a video, which I'm just doing them for the backlinks and for the Google business profile copy. That's a nice bonus. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
I know what I'm saying. So
No, I'm saying.
we just had a few things where I'm not talking about how I'm making a living. I'm just showing the stuff that Ray's been preaching forever. Oh, and here I show with TubeBuddy, you click on title generator and it's going to generate like 5 different ideas you can use for the title. And probably 9 times out of 10, I get a better title out of it. Have you ever used the thumbnail testing alternate thumbnails in TubeBuddy?
Yeah, I have. I don't use it much, but I have.
Okay.
I have tried it before.
Yeah, they wanted me to create another one, and I'm looking at it and go, how can I improve on that? But
I like that. I like that judge too, by the way.
Judge Fleischer,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see his stuff all the time.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good. He's a really nice guy, but he gets their attention. I mean, he gets in their face big time.
Oh, he sure does.
And but then you realize he's a nice guy because he treats all the staff really, really well. Like an attorney will come up, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" You know, a defense attorney, and he calls them by their
Right.
first name and stuff. So, oh, clickable link in the description. Be sure to use the HTTPS. And
You don't know how often I run into that.
and if I was just reminded because I stood up a new channel, they're going to put you through another verification process to get the clickable links. Just a heads up. And then I told them about the free video editor CapCut. I've got an equipment list here that I've added. Chat GPT, great starting point for copy, and you can respond to reviews using Chat GPT. You just take the review and say, respond to this review. I talk about Envato elements too. That makes a big difference for B-roll footage. I mean, it makes me look like I'm more talented than I really am.
It's funny. That is such an incredible deal. I used to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars there every single year in little five to $15 increments, and they all had to be listed out. So in the tax returns, it was like, all these things that I give to the tax guys. But now I just pay that $299 or $199 fee, isn't it? I think it's $199 for the whole year.
Yeah,
so instead of paying $5,000 to $10,000, I'm paying $200.
Oh, I use
Crazy.
it a lot. I mean, probably
Crazy.
I download 10 things every week, either photos or stock footage. And it's good stuff. I mean, it works. You got to be a little creative about finding what you want, but it's there.
Yeah, it's excellent. It really, really is. And, I use it with the nerve doctors. So their stuff is all,
yeah.
A lot of stuff is done with that. So, I mean, we use it for everything.
Oh, it adds a shine to videos like you can't believe. Well, you can, but I'm just saying that it's great. Now, so then I gave them sort of an equipment list. It's probably not all encompassing, but boy, the videos that I shoot on my phone when I drive down to Kansas City, I cannot believe the quality. And as you have stated, make sure the lighting is decent, but I'm not going in there with a full lighting kit. In many cases, I'm just using the light coming in from the windows.
Oh yeah, the stuff they can do now with that it's amazing. It's amazing, and even I mean, just to give an example, Apple, this $3 trillion company, they do those amazing videos that they create for their little presentations, all shot on iPhones. So, I mean, if they can do it, and it looks like they're shot with cinema camera. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know what else they do to those, but they're all shot with iPhones. So there's no reason, there's no excuses. You can do it. You can do it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm just amazed by the quality, and so are my customers. I've got one guy that, he's in a dungeon. I joke. He doesn't have any windows in his office, and so it's fluorescent lights. So I just put a couple of ring lights on the small spider tripods, or whatever you call them, claw tripods on the floor, just to offset, just to warm it up a little bit. And his videos look great. He wears glasses, so I can't raise those ring lights up too high, but it looks wonderful. And I can tell the difference when I turn the ring lights off. It's just not as warm. So I use the Movo lapel mic. I think it's $15. The cord's not real long. It's
not long. Ooh, which one do you have? All the ones I have are like 15-foot cords.
No, I got the LV1. I got the LV1. It doesn't work on an Android. They gave me my money back. I mean, I plugged it into a USB-C and it still didn't
Crazy.
work. And
That's
so instead of
weird.
coming back to me with an answer, they just said, "Oh, we'll just give you your money back." So I don't know.
Sounds like it was a bad microphone or something, to be
Well,
honest.
I don't know, but they didn't offer me anything else. But what I do is I got the one with the 2 foot, and I just have them stand in front. I mean, it works fine. I just have them stand in front of the phone. They're just far enough back that uh, that it looks fine, you know.
Hmm.
And so that mobile, I mean, if you listen to the quality, it's outstanding. Um, I thought about getting some wireless mics, but I the quality on this, on a wired mic for me is so much better. So that's what I use. Yeah, Ray is. If you're watching the video, he's holding up. He did a whole show on the wireless mics. That might have been our last show.
Yeah,
Um,
that was this one here I'm holding up. It's a no name brand, little what I call button mouse button microphone,
uh-huh.
and they're wireless. And the quality's really good. Not this isn't $15. This one I think was more like 60 or 70, but still for
Well,
wireless, two wireless microphones and the receiver, so you can have multiple people. I mean, it's an insane deal. I got another one over here that I paid $10 for, and that one kind of stinks though. I bought it literally just to test it out in a video, and it was terrible.
Well, I think what I'll do is if I have a situation where a guy wants to sit at the desk or he wants to be kind of far away, I'll get some wireless mics. But that little Movo mic works great and sounds wonderful, and 15 bucks. Um, I talk about the adapters. You've already taught that USB-C for Android, Lightning for iPhone. Now, is the new
Older,
iPhone, huh?
the new iPhones are USB-C. The
Yeah,
older
okay.
ones are.
I was just going to ask you that. Okay. Yeah. All right. And I get all that stuff at Best Buy. Yeah. Well, no, I got the USB-C adapter from Movo, but I just said Best Buy has these things. Trying to keep it simple for them. Something that Ray turned me on to, the 4K video downloader. Um, I use that to download the court vids, the B-roll footage from TV stations, and I just say give credit. The judges, by the way, they know we're doing that. They talk about it sometimes. They talk about some of the people doing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's legal stuff. There's nothing. I mean, it's public. They can complain all they want, but how can you really?
No, they
It's
don't. They don't.
some of them have though. Some of them have.
Yeah. Well, the ones that I use Judge Middleton out of Centerville, Michigan, St. Joseph County, Michigan, which is all rural. It's all country wisdom. He is funny. Judge Simpson out of Ann Arbor, Michigan, and then Judge Fleischer out of Houston, Texas. Those are the only three I use. And they are all pretty much, I mean, they have talked about people that do that. I mean, I've heard them talk about it. Like on the chat, Middleton said, "Oh, there's so and so. Hey, I saw your video. Things like that." So they know, and they don't care. Um, if I was an attorney in those states, or if I was in their jurisdiction, I don't know that I would do that. But it's up to the attorney. We talked about Envato Elements. Um, Simple slide videos, which I find helpful sometimes just for the backlinks. I use Canva. And it's
Mhm.
also good for formatting YouTube shorts if you're going to do that outside of Opus. What is it?
Opus Clip.
Opus Clip. And then CapCut's got a free video editor, which you have been pushing forever. So, and then I got
Love.
a closing slide. So, So that was my presentation to the American Association of Premier DUI Lawyers, Attorneys, excuse me. And hopefully you picked up something up there that you can, there's all kinds of ideas on how you can package YouTube and sell it to businesses. Attorneys can be difficult to get through to. You can't call them. They won't talk to you. And well, if you're going to call them, you got to make a couple hundred calls a day to get through to one. But for Main Street businesses, I think what I'm doing with the attorneys has an application. Don't you?
Yep, I think so. It's a plan I use for. I mean, you're using it for attorneys. I use basically the same plan for everybody. So.
Yeah. Well, there we go. So who helped make this fine episode of Video?
Well, since we've talked about them a billion times already, our good friends over at Movo make this possible. And if you're looking to start having a great sound in your videos or look better in your videos, well, you got to have a good microphone. You got to have some lights. You got to have a stand. You got to have all sorts of cool things. And Movo has all of these things ready for you, including packages that will turn your phone into an entire shooting rig. And you can check all of those things out by heading on over to raiselinks.com/Movo right now. Do it.
All right. Well, let's hit that funky music. Get out of here.
All right, here we go.
He's Ray the video guy. Yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at. Even if he's a little fat, he's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.